Good morning, all you far-right normies out there, or as we're rather known as, far-right racist thugs. I'm a bit sniffly today. You know, we're well into the annual flu season now, or as the government would like to call it, the season of many variants that we've never heard of. But anyway, I mean, yesterday, well, we had another incident, and it was another nail in the coffin of digital ID as far as I'm concerned, with widespread web outages. Yes, before anybody jumps down my throat, I know this time it wasn't a hack, it was a tech issue with Amazon and their cloud or whatever it is. But putting that aside, this just shows how many of these data companies like Amazon, which is basically a big online seller, obviously selling internet services, but how much data that these entities hold online. Now, this affected yesterday, this outage, I know it wasn't a hack, but this affected HMRC. It even affected the main government.com website, banks. You know, so they're holding all this data on us. Now, if that was a hack, you imagine how much data, without the digital ID, the government hold on us all anyway. We know that. It's been happening for years, this giant data mining that they use to try and control us with. But it goes to show, as we've all been saying, they can turn your life off with a switch, one flick of a switch with the digital ID. You'd become a non-entity. You won't exist in their digital world. You'd be an outcast in the real world. Simply because if they can't control you, they'll do away with you. And anybody that tries to help you in this sort of situation will be met with the same fate. We mustn't let this happen. We must not comply with this digital ID. They're trialling it on, I think it was 3,000 veterans or something. I believe most of the veterans have turned it down, denied it. And it's still being installed on phones. If you go and look, if your phone's capable of receiving it, it'll be automatically on your phone. But you can go and delete it. But at the end of the day, it's down to us. If we don't comply, they can't do it, no matter what the repercussions. But moving on, it seems some people are being banned from watching a game of football. Somewhere quite local, as it happens. Well, within a few miles anyway. Now, I don't really care. I don't give a shit. Simply because I can't stand football. I never have. I don't like the game. But it's turned into a political international storm, hasn't it? You know, basically it comes down to they don't want team supporters that are turning up and turning the game into violent riots. They don't want it here. As I say, I've never bothered with football. I wouldn't even entertain watching it. But I do remember many years ago where English clubs were like this. Many English clubs had their own gangs, and they used to turn up at matches not to watch the football but just to provoke violence and start fights. End result, many games were played behind closed doors. Now, to me, if this game was to be played at Aston, don't show any racism, don't show any favouritism to either side. You play the game behind closed doors. And then the fans are the biggest losers. Also, the club will lose money through not selling tickets. But, you know, back then it was hatred towards rival clubs. Nowadays, the hatred is over religion and politics. You know, it literally shows everything this government is involved in, and many other governments, will end with conflict. They provoke conflict, even with their own people, like our government have done. Every problem in this country today has been caused by the establishment, whether it be left, right, Tory, Labour, whatever. They are the root cause of all our problems. Sorry about that, folks. Knock at the door. Postman had something that wouldn't fit through the letterbox. But yeah, that's my view on the football. I don't give a shit. But if it's going to cause riots and mass violence, then you don't let the people there, do you? And if you're going to be absolutely fair, you stop both sides, not just one. That's just my opinion, from someone who hates the beautiful game, as they call it. But have we got more smoke screens coming out now? I mean, we've got Rowley of the Met, you know, that corrupt copper, has come out and said the Met will no longer investigate non-crime hate crime. Well, how can they not investigate something that isn't a crime? You can't investigate something that isn't a crime. You can form an opinion on it, but you can't investigate it or prosecute for it. So it's a bit of a pointless statement anyway. But and we know how the police like to turn non-crimes into crimes. That's the only reason they investigate them, because they can turn it into a crime if they try hard enough. But hang on, this is great, I hear you say. They won't be harassing people over it. But, like I say, is this just a smokescreen? With reports coming out now of the fact that actual evidence has been found of Rowley and Khan, that evil little bastard in London, covering up the grooming gangs. Apparently this evidence has been put out there. I haven't seen any yet. But the fact that Khan has constantly denied they exist, he has constantly avoided questions and answering questions on it. I mean, I don't need any more evidence. The fact that he's doing that shows me that they are deeply rooted and involved in it. The pair of them. They have to be. So, but I will reserve saying anything more on that until I've seen some physical evidence. And don't forget, today the crime and sentencing bill is up for debate again. I shall be watching that. But anyway, guys, as I say, I'm a bit sniffly and bunged up here. Doesn't help my breathing, although I've had extra steroids and puffers today. I shall have to have some, shall we say, cold medicine. Because that's the only thing that seems to cure any of the sniffles nowadays, despite what the government are telling you. But I'll leave it there, guys. Don't forget, live tomorrow night, where we will go over these things and more. And I might have more to say on the police and crime sentencing bill. We'll see what becomes of it. But until then, as always, please stay safe, stay strong, and stay absolutely free. Respects, guys.